Video journalists are often working very hard alone, and they are producing exclusive stories from the real life and from their regions. This year, commended entry goes to Phillip Bromwell from RTE Ireland. We saw his story about the low-cost animal clinic in Dublin.
The generator powers the flickering lights under which the vets are working.
The premise is diabolical. Absolutely run down. Dirty walls, very drab.
And as for the ceiling,
I think it was the last flood.
despite the conditions, people continue to come.
Say how are you, Minnie? Say how are you?
As the sun set on budget day, a steady stream of people arrived to avail of free or low-cost treatments for their pets.
They look after our dogs, our cats, birds, anything we bring. Money is nothing to them. Not your daddy's dream. No.
I know Maggie years, I wouldn't know her personally, but I always knew her from going in, and the love she gives them animals, it's unconditional.
Maggie is Maggie Howard. She doesn't want to do an interview.
It's terrible, go away.
Winner is the Philip Norton from the BBC Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Judges were impressed with his dramatic report about the floods on the east coast of England, and it was really very good example of the VJ reporter in the heart of the action, in the middle of the night, in dramatic situations.
The warnings had been issued, flood barriers were lowered, but it wasn't enough to completely hold back the waters of the Humber.
This is what we're up against currently, we can't stop it. But it's just, along here, there's the manholes. And if I can keep these clear, we stand a chance.
But tonight, parts of the city centre and areas of Hessel are underwater and without power.
I've just come from Lapland Electronics. The lights went out and we couldn't actually close the shop. So we had to wait around, and of course by the time we were actually able to leave, the water's just come up and up and up.
The danger came from a surge at high tide. Isolated Kilnsea was among the first to be affected.
It's only going to be another 5 or 10 minutes before this road is inundated with salt water. And there we go.
On Victoria Dock in Hull, roads became unpassable as the Humber continued to rise. A desperate battle to keep back the seawater unfolded.
Yeah, not panicking so much at the minute, but the sound of the sandbags sort of a bit of a worry. But just trying to help, because some people won't move, so get the sandbags and make a decision whether to evacuate.
One of the neighbours came and knocked on the door and said it were actually coming out over the wall. So I came round there and saw it, and then came back and we started moving stuff upstairs, and then now we're heading out.
The water has now stopped overflowing from the Humber just a short distance up there, but the problem now on Victoria Dock is it's gathered in some of these lower lying areas, and further along the Humber the problems are continuing. And that's brought havoc further across the city. We were unable to reach the Kingston Retail Park, said to be waist deep in water. Other streets are blacked out and flooded.
We was just stood there and was watching it and was making markers on the buildings, and it was just going straight past them all. It was just, that was it, it was gone within minutes. The police were trying to get all the cars out of the way, and that was it, it was gone.
It's tricky because obviously we've got our main A63 has been flooded and main Ferrens Way, so what we're trying to do is clear the traffic and make sure everybody's safe. We did have cars trapped, but now we've been able to bring them all through, and there were people sitting on top of their cars down by the ice rink as well because it took them unawares, but we've managed to move everybody out. The problem's going to be we might need to look at closing the A63 for a longer period, and certainly in the morning.
The worry now is for high tide in the morning. The standing water will only make the situation worse.